Hello, beloveds. How is everyone today? I trust your day today is better than your day yesterday. I have been in and out of town, running around, up and down, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We had a nice, welcoming rainstorm last night. Oh, while I'm shuffling. Okay, interesting card for the day. Before I read today's card of wisdom, Sufi wisdom or affirmation, I wanted to give a little bit of information. I haven't gotten any feedback about the resources that I have put in previous reels about codependency, narcissism, the mental health links, the tests that you can take to see where you range in the demographics of emotional help or childhood trauma that may need to be repaired, healed, or sought out. Some of the things that form under childhood trauma are emotional neglect, low self-esteem, avoidance of being seen, emotional repression, psychological neglect, anger issues. If you develop addictions or neurosis, or devices, if you develop any kind of addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, food, any of those things to make up for whatever, to compensate for your lack of feelings or your overwhelming emotions. These things come from dysfunction, such as emotional neglect, not feeling safe, being bullied. Like I would say personally for my family, I heard a lot of children should be seen and not heard. So, which means we're not allowed to speak our piece, speak what we're feeling, say what's going on, speak against an adult. Those things caused me, speaking personally, and from what I've witnessed with other people generationally in our heritage, the same thing. These are things that caused us to be silent about the things that were happening around us, the things we were observing, and the things that were happening to us. What were some other things that my parents were like their parents. We didn't get a lot of hugs and kisses and emotion. We were always told, don't cry, or you better not cry, don't cry, or you got to be strong, or you need to know how to do this. I mean, we were conditioned to be adults before we could figure out what being a child was. We always had responsibilities. And I know a lot of my older relatives, they feel like that's the way it was and that's how it is and that's how it's going to be. And to them, they've been in this cycle for so long to, it's like that's just the way it was and that's just who I am and that's just how I am. So they're content with that. They don't want to work to change that. And I noticed that a lot of them say that it's over it or it's not that bad or that was our way, but it wasn't the correct way. And a lot of issues or isms that we have with anger, with alcohol, with drugs, with relationships, sexuality. What else did I miss? If there's anything, issues that you're having that I haven't missed, that I have missed, punch them in there, fill in the blank, because these behavior patterns, these behaviors, these patterns, these traditions, they are passed on from generation to generation, and we see them as normal, and they're not normal. It's not normal not to be affectionate to your children. It's not normal to not be able to communicate your feelings or be able to freely express yourself or even be recognized or identified as someone who might be fearful, might be afraid, might be scared, might be being preyed upon because we don't have that security of affirming our feelings or asking questions. We couldn't question adults. We couldn't question authority. We were supposed to do as we were told. And the answer to everything was because I said so. And we couldn't talk back. So we really didn't have voices as children. There was little we were able to do except sit silently, be obedient, and conform, do as we're told, period. We didn't really have voices. And a lot of us who came up like this raised our children like this. We didn't get answers, so we just relayed the same answers we got to our children without thinking. It's just habitual. It's traditional. It's a habit that you learn to accept. And when you get older and if you get to the point where you question your relationships, like, why does this keep happening? Or why am I having a problem communicating? And why am I attracting what am I attracting? Or why am I not attracting certain things? And that was the case for me. And when I began to search out why I'm attracting or not attracting certain things, it began to open up other doors. And then I began to see that I have been ignoring patterns and behaviors and suppressed them with my faith. Until I can deal with them and handle them again in my psyche and in my body. Because our body is triggered by sound, music, memory, movement, actions. And that was my ordeal when I went back into dating. I decided, okay, I need to date differently or do something differently because I was trying to date biblically. Does not work. It's an epic fail. And I don't care what anybody says, it's an epic fail. And I decided that, okay, I have to date differently. And going back into the dating scene, trying to be close to people I began to have triggers, body memory triggers with that, which was a telltale sign that there was trauma that I did not address. I figured that the trauma that I did know about was healed, and it wasn't. And discovering it led me to why what I thought was healed wasn't healed, because there was other things that I didn't identify with, I didn't deal with, and some that I didn't even know about until my body started being triggered and reacting. My body memory started reacting and taking over, and I had to identify, why do I have this reaction to this? Why am I angry when certain things are said or heard or smelled or felt? And the list just goes on and on and on. But I know that I wasn't a person who set borders. I always made myself readily available. Oh, whatever you need help with. Oh, call me anytime. I never set borders. I never put limits on anything or anyone. The other thing was, because I have the ability to sense what's going on with people physically or emotionally, I always wanted to cure that, to heal that, and I didn't know how to process what the powers or energies that I took on and filter them and release them. And there's other things that lead up to dysfunctional upbringing and the behavior patterns that we develop unconsciously, subconsciously, that I'd seriously like you to go back and look at the videos prior to this and check out the links and the information. And because I'm sure if it doesn't affect you, it affects somebody close to you, or you could be in a relationship with somebody and you're wondering, why do they say one thing and do another? That's part of some of the behaviors and patterns and triggers that we are conditioned to in our thinking and our behaviors that we don't pay attention to, because it's a natural effect from being brought up in dysfunction. Now, there's all kinds of dysfunction, but it mostly comes from if you were raised in a broken home, you didn't come up with your parents, or you did come up with your parents, but they had codependency or low self-esteem or narcissistic traits or addiction, which is usually a buffer for people who grew up in a dysfunction. Either they were yelled at a lot, or they were beat a lot, or they didn't feel safe. They were always living in fight or flight, living in defense all the time, always scared or worried or bullied, or just controlled a lot, or had their voice taken from them. They didn't have high self-esteem or confidence, or some of us are perfectionists, or clean freaks, neat freaks, or seeking approval all the time, or feel like we need to be validated, or what's the other one that I was going to say? Or we don't have a sense of attachment to our feelings, or lack of feelings, emotions. Some don't have any emotions. They can't relate to what someone is feeling. They're just mimicking or portraying what they see, they think emotion is. And we have quite a few of those in our family, in our generation. And it's difficult. And because these are family members, you love them, you don't want to disregard them or show that there's any lack or dislike, but sometimes it makes it makes you worse. It keeps you in that trigger mode, or it keeps you craving or running after the toxicity because you either want to fix it, or you don't know that you're running to toxicity, or that you don't know how to cut it off, the behaviors and the patterns and the thoughts. So if any of the topics that I have discussed or said interest you, please, you can DM me. You can, noteworthysister@gmail. You can DM me. You can go above and under the description of the videos. Go back under the videos and click on the links. There are tests that you can take. There are suggestions for self-help and professionals who are on YouTube and IG. I've listed a few that I've used or I like, and I'm sure there are others out there. If y'all run across some that are not mentioned here, please drop them below in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. These are things that I have self-discovered, just trying to figure out, my own level of happiness, why I keep repeating certain cycles. I get to a certain point and then it's like, boom, everything dissipates beneath my feet and I got to start all over again. Why is this happening? Why I feel like I'm not, I'm emotionally detached, or I'm lacking something. There's something I'm not seeing or getting. And hopefully these reels, these videos are making you raise an eyebrow, ask a question, or seek within yourself. And I know I come from a heavy religious Christian background, and I am intentionally not mentioning it because it's the thing that held me back, that helped me suppress what I was dealing with. It, whenever it got out of control and I began to, whenever I was triggered or began to think about it or question it, it would cause me to go into this place of fasting and praying to, oh, God, take it away from me. Lord, help me to get over it. And all it would do was suppress it. It would never clear it. It would never deliver. There wasn't any deliverance because I didn't know what I needed deliverance from. I just knew that I was being triggered and reacting. And in most cases, the people with these dysfunctional behaviors are people in help positions. There are people who are doctors, lawyers, policemen, judges. They're civil servants. They're people that help. And they usually do this as a coping mechanism. These careers, these researchers, not everybody, but it's common for people who suffer from neglect, dysfunction, or what have you, to go into these areas to try to heal or nurture or give the thing that they are lacking. And which is probably why a lot of people nowadays don't have the bedside manner that they should have, or they don't empathize, or not as sensitive as they need to be, because they're coping, trying to make up for what they haven't received or what they're lacking. They're trying to be something they've never really had. So there's that. But again, there's resources underneath some of the videos that I speak on about codependency, narcissism, addiction, and the limited beliefs that go along with it. And for me, like I said, I purposely did not mention my my faith. I don't connect to my faith in trying to heal this, because I want to use other tools besides the limiting beliefs and the limiting resource of Christianity, or religion, I should say, the concept or the structure of religion and not Christianity, because it itself, religion is manipulation, is a manipulated program of belief, of a belief system that controls, and it does it very well. And I'm not here to debate or argue that fact. I'm going by what I know from my own personal experience, what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I've experienced. But so without further ado, today's card is self-creation. Okay. Be the author of your own life. Self-creation. Be the author of your own life. Another beautiful card. And that indeed looks like that's what she's doing, creating or presenting her creation, herself, to the rest of the world. I can see many entities in here. Self-creation. You can see the many entities if you look carefully. Be the author of your own self, of your own life. A self-creation. Be the author of your own life. I am not one who is weak against the turn of destiny. I will undo the will of heaven if it turns against my wish. I am not one who is weak against the turn of destiny. I will undo the will of heaven if it turns against my wish. There are things in life that are in our control and those which are not. Inner peace and outer effectiveness come to those who can distinguish between the two. When we feel weak in the face of that which we can change, when we feel weak in the face of that which we can change, we fall short of our dreams. By realizing we can adjust ourselves to what happens to us in life, we can take charge of determining our own response to our reality in a creative way. This guidance tells you not to dwell on the past or worry about the future. Being the author of your life means concentrating on the present moment. You can change your perception. You can do something different. Try learning a new skill instead of following a routine. This means settling aside how you think things should be, for it is not helpful to focus on what might have been if things were different. Dear one, do not be overly attached to things you cannot change. Focusing on the paths of others does not bring you the inner peace of personal accomplishment. Touch the creative spark within you and feel how renewing it is to connect with your innocence and purity. By trusting the flow, you will be able to envision new possibilities and create a world of your own. Let the universal energy guide you toward a creative power you may never have imagined you could share. Be determined to adjust yourself to what is not in your, be prepared to adjust yourself to what is not in your control and change what you are able to change to create your desired life. Which in a nutshell is pretty much what everything I just spoke about, how I begin to question why this, why that, why not this, why not that. And in order to be successful in getting answers to these questions, I had to honestly ask myself and reflect on what I believe and why I believe it. Do I believe it because I was taught and told to believe it? Or does that really resonate in me? Is that my true self? Am I content with that? Can I sit with that and be content and happy with it? Or, do I have a question mark? Or several question marks? Or concerns? Or I wonder. If you have questions, seek the answers. Don't just take it for, oh, it's always been this way. It is what it is. You're worth the work. You're worth the answer. And that's one of the things that convinced me to seek the answers for myself. Like, why do you believe what you believe? Everything that you always wanted to question that you couldn't get an answer for. Why couldn't you get an answer for? And why have you stopped seeking the answer? Why did you settle for what was given to you when you know within yourself there's more to this than what meets the eye? And a lot of us, we really don't want to do the work. We don't want to relive things and answer the tough questions. We don't even want to ask the hard questions to ourselves personally, because we're just looking at the work that's entailed, the emotion that's entailed, and reliving the thing. But when you address it, you don't have to linger in it and stay in it. Because suppressing it and trying to say, I forgot about it and I put it in the past, it doesn't heal anything. You're still going to keep repeating these patterns, these cycles, and trying to come to these moments where it's like, why am I not happy? Why does this keep happening? Why do I feel cursed? Or why do I feel hexed? Or why am I attracting this and not attracting that? So, again, I mean, if you have questions, suggestions, resources, leave a comment, leave a link, press like, share, subscribe, or you can DM me. At any rate, that's our affirmation, our word of wisdom for today. I love you to life, and I'll see you in the future.